Now that we know which values are pushed through the data layer, we need to create a data variable. In our GTM, we go to variables, we go to new, let's call it email user defined, and we're going to choose data variable. At this point, you should go to your tag assistant that is still open, and you should find your email data point that you're trying to point Google towards. So I can see that email is here, and here you will see what's called your data structure or your data array. Basically, think of this as trying to create a roadmap to Google to show them where your house is. In this example, your house is your email. I need to give Google an address where to find it. And looking at this data array, I can see that it starts here with an open curly bracer, and that we have a few structures in here. We have the GTM one. You can see another open one. We're not interested in that because that one ends here. And then after that, our email comes in. And that's the one that we're interested in. So I'm just going to copy email, and that's the value that I'm going to push through the variable, and I'm going to save it. Now, we've been very lucky here because our data structure is not very complex. You can see that email kind of just lives in this root structure. But sometimes you will have a situation where the data that you're trying to point Google to is nested within you have structures that are nested within structures, in which case you need to kind of be more precise about the path Google needs to take. Just to give you an example, on our own website, we have HubSpot forms, and what is being pushed through HubSpot forms where the emails live is a little bit more complicated than this. So in that case, you have here, this is the HubSpot, a very, very long HubSpot form data structure, and the email is here. Now, if we come back to what we were saying about the open curly brackets, you will see that this structure actually is a little bit more complex. So it starts here, that's the root. That piece of the structure ends here. Then you have the developer ID, but then you have another nested opening here, which is HubSpot data. You have another one, which is data. There's another one here, which is values. And only then do you get to email. So if we were going to say to Google, hey Google, look, this is where you'll find the email, we're going to have to produce an address that's a little bit more complex. So in that case, you would use full stops between each of the elements of the structure. So in this case, our structure would be going backwards from the top, would be HS data, full stop, data, full stop, submission values, full stop, and then finally email. Hopefully this all makes sense and gives you a bit of an insight of how to actually dissect and review a data structure. Now, for us, considering that our data structure is super simple, your data layer variable name, the address that you're sharing with Google, is just going to have email. We're ready now to create our triggers and our tags and the other elements that are needed.